Hey, welcome to Real Talk, episode 191. I'm Todd, this is AJ, and we're back.
You ever just live life, and then you live it, and you realize you're living it, and then when you do that and you live it, then you're like, wow, I'm living life? Me too. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome. Welcome to the podcast and the show. Behind the camera, behind the computer, you messed me up, man.
Dude,
is Fun Turn Clint.
myself.
Hello, Fun Turn.
Hello.
There he is.
Silky smooth voice. Anyway, what's Real Talk? It's an opportunity to talk about life, God, the Bible, and everything in between.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. We really love you. We don't know what you look like, probably, but we love you anyway.
Yeah.
'Cause
It doesn't matter.
but we do love you. We're excited that you're here. We do a lot of wild things in this show. We're just some young Christian guys trying to tell you what we think about life, but more importantly, what the Bible says about life.
We love Christ.
What?
Said we love Christ.
Amen. So, we kind of, this reminds me of something I want to talk about.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, somewhere in the description of this video, you're going to find a podcast. Somewhere in the description of this video, you're going to find a link. www.theremnant.live/real-talk. Should pop up on the screen if you're watching on the video. If you click that link all the way down and submit a question, hit submit, follow the instructions, you can submit a topic, question, an article, and it will go into our database instantaneously and anonymously. Genuinely, couldn't find it if we tried.
That's right.
Maybe you have a question you want to ask about God, life, the Bible, church, Christianity, us, anything like that, but you just haven't felt comfortable asking someone in person that question, whether you're a Christian, whether you're not, whether you're curious. This is an opportunity and a safe place to be able for you to be able to do that.
Boom. There it is, man. You like my notes?
Does that say nothing? Squiggles. I want to point this out, and it's before we go anywhere. This is so important.
All right.
Actually, no. Before I do this, I'm going to let AJ talk to you about the Real Ones fan club, and then I have a very important announcement.
All right, cool. So, for those of you, first off, I want to say thank you to everyone who's a supporter of Real Talk, and they're a part of the Real Talk Real Ones fan club. If you want to be a part of that, there's two tiers. We have $15 a month and $30 a month. The $15 tier one gets you bonus content exclusively that is to you only. And before I even go any further, those of you who are listening to this, we need your email to send you the bonus content. So if you haven't sent us your email, please send us your email if you're a part of the fan club already. Now, if you're a tier 2 member, which is $30 a month, not only do you get exclusive bonus footage, you also get an exclusive merchandise item that is specifically for Real Talk Real Ones. So, want to sign up? Send us a thing.
Send us your info. You can also go to Did you do the link to actually donate?
That's what I was about to do.
Okay,
I just couldn't
go
think
for
of how to word it. If it's www.
Wait, pause. If you want to donate,
Yes.
go to www.theremnant.live/give. There's a drop-down box. Go down to Real Talk. It goes into Real Talk automatically. This is a nonprofit. It's a ministry. So not only are you going to be getting those bonus gifts, but you're going to be supporting what we do. And I can promise you this. This is a fact. Someday we'll do behind the scenes. Maybe we'll have guests.
Oh, yeah.
That have been, but people's lives have been changed through this show. And it wouldn't be possible if it weren't for you guys listening, watching, and supporting us.
Yes.
There's another way to do that.
And if you do
And then you
decide
can
to
claim
donate,
it on your taxes, etc.
absolutely. And if you do decide to donate, please send us all your information, including your email address and your shipping address, so that we can get you stuff.
Yeah,
and
you
that
do
is
that
at www.theremnant.live/real-talk.
And then, follow the instructions.
Yes.
So this is important to discuss.
All right.
They say, AJ, that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Oh boy, here we go.
Did you know they said that?
I've heard this.
But I want to add something a little extra.
Okay.
I feel that copycats are chumps. So why do you say this, Todd?
This is complete opposite.
I want to point this out to you because I don't find it to be flattery. It has come to our attention, and I cannot believe this. And if they listen and hear this, and I believe they do,
yeah,
we
they
are
have
inviting you to have a dialogue with us, to make peace. Okay?
Because we're about to have a war.
So it turns out, and I'm not going to give them free publicity here. I'm not going to send viewers their way.
That's right.
But I want you guys to know that are listening. And if you know who you are. There is another Real Talk.
You from the 574?
Listen to me. A Real Talk from our home area.
Same area code.
Yep. From South Bendish.
South
area.
Bendish.
I want you to know, this is important, AJ, for a second. And we all know this. All jokes somewhat aside.
Somewhat.
I cannot put into words what has happened here. Now, I get what you're saying. Maybe someone just picked the name Real Talk because they want to have real talk.
Sure.
And maybe they just added 2 other words to make it seem like it's a unique idea.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the case. But then may I present evidence that, if I'm honest, I think certainly makes the case that we were copied.
Present the information.
Number 1, they literally have 3 things. They say that, you remember this? They talk about, these 2 guys.
2 guys.
2 guys. They talk about life, culture, and society. Mm-hmm. Right? Is that it? Or life, God, life, and culture.
Something like that. It's
That
along
sounds
those
really
lines.
weird. Like God, life,
The
the
Bible.
Bible, and everything in between.
Yeah.
Secondly, and this is the one. This is the evidence. We are known for our catchphrase at the end of our descriptions, right?
Yeah.
If you're a long-term listener, long-term viewer, you know we love to tell you guys to invite you to the coziness of our show by saying, "Hey, you know the deal. Get comfy, grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and join the guys or join us." They say, depending on for some real talk.
That is it.
Do
That
you
is our
know,
punchline.
AJ, what they write at the end of theirs?
Tell me.
Grab your favorite hot cocoa, get comfortable, and join us for a great convo or real talk or anything like that. Do you understand that? The odds, guys, the odds that someone in this area would magically come up with these phrases on their own.
Listen,
in
man,
the exact kind of show. Seriously, it's almost not feasible.
Listen, man.
Do you think, but first of all, I need to make sure that people know this isn't a joke. They literally did put that at the end of their
It's true. That
comments.
is true.
You know what? While you talk about this, I'm going to pull it up and read it exactly. So
Listen, man. Like you said, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but I can understand the frustration that they did. I mean, once again, we're open to a dialogue. If you gentlemen are watching this, please just tell us what's going on. We want to know.
you're watching.
Yeah.
Well, there's no doubt.
So
Okay, here's one from November 24th.
Okay.
So grab that pumpkin pie, sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode.
Oh man,
Okay.
that's so similar, dude.
Oh, I'm
That's
not done.
So similar.
It gets more similar.
Oh,
Put a pot of coffee on. Join us on this important conversation. Hold on.
Oh man, this is so oddly similar.
Oh, this one right here. This is it.
This is
This is from November 10th. Listen to this. So heat up your favorite hot beverage, get comfortable, and listen to this exciting conversation.
Man, dude, that is so.
Come on, guys. In all seriousness, can we guys, listen, you know who you are.
You know who you
All right, I don't remember your guys' names, but I would say them if I could. Okay, yeah, I do. I don't even know if I should say them. Mark, Chris, we don't know you, and we want to have peace with you.
We want to have peace.
You got to admit, circumstantial evidence is pointing to the fact that you stole our idea and are running your own version of this show.
Well, definitely. We started before you, buddies. You know,
true.
that's a real
We
interesting
did start before
slope
y'all.
there,
That
buddy.
is true.
Now, listen, we love the idea that people are out there having these kind of conversations.
Absolutely,
All
it's
right?
cool.
I love it, genuinely. This is what we want to do, inspire people to have these conversations.
Yes.
But there's a subtle difference between inspiration and imitation.
That's
what I
the
did there?
name of this episode.
What was it? What did I say?
Inspiration.
Inspiration.
Versus imitation.
All right, done. Anyway, so
Nice, got them.
I know
or
I'm
we could just put their names for this as the title. I'm just kidding.
I want you to understand this for real. I'm being serious, guys, because we did discover this. Who told us about this?
Mad Max.
Mad Max
Mad
came
Max,
across it. And Mad Max was like, oh, yeah, there's another one. And then we started looking. And that is when we found the deeper we went down this rabbit hole, the more it was just, it was a repainted,
Dude.
and they didn't even use different colors. They just painted a different.
Yeah, man.
So,
Not even a different
listen,
name. Just
we're brothers in Christ. We assume you know the Lord. It seems that way.
Oh, yeah.
We love you. We want peace. Reach out to us. Let us know what's going on. Why did you steal us?
Why did you steal us?
All right? Because, but I'm serious. This is a
Yeah,
real
we
thing.
really want to hear from you.
No,
It's
I mean
true.
also that sincerely, it's. I'm not sure what to do with this.
It's
On the
true.
one
We really
hand,
don't know what to
it
do about
feels like. Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
This feels like a joke,
But it's not.
yeah,
right?
it's
I mean,
not.
come on. If I were to read that,
We're making it light, but it's.
but it does seem like someone's messing with this.
I
Remember, I
agree.
read it and I go, this isn't possible.
I know.
That's also because like people don't know outside of the show, not only just your life in general, but also just the odd things that happens to the crew and the interns
That's
here
true.
on a regular basis.
true.
This fits with honestly, when
mean,
we heard this,
they're
my
45
first thought
minutes
was
away.
I was like, yeah, that fits.
That
That
tracks.
fits with yeah.
So we need peace. We
need
need peace because, frankly, I'll tell you what this has taught us is about our trademark and copywriting stuff.
Oh
true.
yeah.
Although I'm pretty sure we have all rights reserved on some of this stuff, don't we?
Some
not
of
sure.
it. I already.
Yeah.
I am talking
Yeah.
to the social media guy,
Because
the director.
this is what happens, man. When you hit the not big time.
The not
Somebody
big time.
wants to.
When you get on that Y list,
Yeah. So, I'm kind of disappointed because this has happened before. Remember, there was a place here in town
oh yeah,
that tried to do the same thing.
yep.
Now, again, we can't. We really do want to inspire people to have these conversations.
Absolutely,
But
we do.
couldn't you just give a shout out, even just like, hey, you know what? Thanks for the inspiration. I
Yep.
feel like we do that.
Oh, absolutely, definitely we do.
We've given shout outs to people,
oh, 100%, man.
even people that don't go to this church.
Yeah,
that
dude.
support the show. So, anyway, very heartbreaking to find out that we have been stolen.
We've been stolen.
So, anyway, give us back. All right. Give back. But yeah, it's very odd, man. What do you think about it?
Dude, it's strange, man.
I mean, come on, what
Like
do
you said, there's a small part of me that's flattered. I'm like, you know what? We must do something that's good enough that people want to imitate.
Sure.
Which is pretty cool. But I also understand them taking credit for something that it's very, very, very possible that they did not come up with.
What
on their own.
percentage do you think is the chance that they did this independently?
I give it 20%,
Given our
man.
reach, dude.
I give it 20%.
Because we reach quite a bit in this area.
We do. I give it 20%.
So you think 80% chance that they took this from us, that
100%.
they came across us and decided to kind of do it better,
I'm a
probably,
hun-
right?
I'm a-
That's probably what they did. They're
I'm
like,
100% on the 80%.
because what are the odds they take the name and just add 2 words?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
It also
yeah,
is
the
slightly
name is-
insulting. Are they implying we are not?
that we're not Christians. yeah. Yeah, why don't you tell
I
us,
did
guys?
think that. Did you have that thought at all?
I didn't think
what an
about that
odd
until you
thing.
just said that. Yeah,
Those
'cause-
two,
'cause they-
those are pagans. No
Yeah.
way they know the Lord. Those are hellions. You know what I mean?
man. Some heathens over
Yeah.
there.
So anyway, that's a real thing, man. So
It is. So
Hey.
yeah, reach out to us for real.
yeah, and if you watch that other show, let's just say for some crazy reason or listen,
Yeah.
which I don't think you probably would if you're a fan of this show. Very different vibes.
Definitely different vibes.
Never mind.
Yeah, it's best.
I
So
was about to
anyway,
make
we
fun
love
of him.
people, we love Jesus, we love good conversation, but good golly, Miss Molly.
Good golly.
Just a shout out would it be? I would have been like, you know what? That's really cool.
And you could even make up for it if you just give us a shout out on your next episode because we'll be listening.
And
I
watching.
won't, but I will be reading your description.
I'll be reading your description.
We'll be expecting you.
So anyway, I just wanted to point that out because I thought it was so wild.
It is wild. And yeah, it's nuts, man. I can't explain our lives.
I couldn't believe it. So anyway, I do want to give one more shout out here, real quick,
Yes.
to the lovely Kelsey, and I say lovely knowing that her husband Arnold could snap me in half. But Kelsey, thank you so much. She donated recently
Yes.
to the show. Pretty from Fun to Adele, it's a pretty significant amount. So thank you so much for your. And I know that you supported the show for a long time, but thank
Yes.
you for caring enough, for having enough passion for the show to invest.
Thank you so
in
much,
this ministry. We appreciate you. We love you. We love your family. Thank you
It's
so
amazing.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Arnold, don't kill me. Because he listens too sometimes, right?
I think he does.
I love that guy.
Arnold is pretty cool.
He's
He
one of
is.
my
Might as well call him Arnold Schwarzenegger, am I right? Made of iron.
Definitely
I
is.
didn't have anything.
Anyway, I have a lot of stuff going on here. We got a lot of new. We got a couple of new segments.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited about my new segment here.
Dude, I'm super stoked.
So, in the meantime, should I tell him now to hype it up?
Sure.
We've got a new segment coming. I know we had Todd's Tidbits. It only lasted 1 week. But this time, we really think we're going to go with this. Be prepared for Real Talk's fun-sized philosophy.
Fun size philosophy.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Brought to you by a sponsor who wants to have it right here.
Actually,
there it
there's
is.
two. We do have a sponsor that's
Nice.
wanting to come.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we do.
There
And
we
we'll
go.
give
We
them.
can
We've
test.
had a sponsor before, several.
We've had several.
Anyway, in the meantime, I'm supposed to ask you this according to my show notes.
Yes.
Did I cut you off on turn? No? Okay. What do you got, AJ? How's life going? I noticed you wrote down your life over there.
I did. I wrote down my life
what's
because
going on?
usually I don't, and it goes disastrously. So there's 3 words that came to my mind to start off my thoughts here in my note, which was sluggards, scoffers, and slack hands.
You wrote that down, didn't you? Okay, go on.
So if you guys are not familiar with Proverbs, Proverbs mentions sluggards, scoffers, and slack hands quite a bit. And honestly,
says slack hands,
it does.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't know if it says it a lot, but I know there's a specific
That's cool.
verse that mentions slack hands.
No, okay.
So,
Go on.
but it's gonna be a new Norman. How many times can I say sluggards, scoffers, and slack hands in a minute? You guys are priority counting, but in Proverbs it mentions these quite a bit. And the reason why I wrote this down is because I started thinking about my life, and I was like, you know what, man? Like, I am a sluggard, dude. Like, I can tend to be a lazy dude. I can be. And scoffer, I can be a little arrogant sometimes, man, and I don't listen to people. And, I think I can internally scoff sometimes at some of the things that people tell me to do, and it's really annoying because that's like, that's not the heart of Christ. And slack hands is kind of similar to sluggard, where it's like, I can be a slacker sometimes, dude, and like, I don't want to be that. So I wanted to start off with that just because they all start with S too. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah,
But,
alliteration, man.
so, that is, and it's cool because this all started because I got convicted to do a Bible plan, which I haven't. It's in the Bible app, and it's through the Bible Project.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so what they do is their devotionals, actually some of their videos on YouTube. So it's not like you read it, but you watch it. So it goes over Proverbs and then Ecclesiastes.
It's cool,
So
man.
it's like both sides of life. So it's really interesting. So I'm still in the Proverbs section of it, but that's how I ran into all these words was through that Bible app, Bible plan. So, and the reason why I got convicted for that is because like I talked to like 2 or 3 people on like the same day, and they all mentioned how they were doing a Bible plan in the Bible app. I was like, I feel like God's trying to tell me something. So I was like, you know what? I'll do a Bible plan. Because before that, if you guys have been listening, I was actually reading through Acts. So I stopped reading through Acts, and I've just been in this Bible plan. But anyways, so that's kind of where that starts. But other than that, I kind of had a rough couple days this last week. I was really struggling mentally. But what was cool is the past 4 to 5 days, I've really turned that around, and I've had this good streak of days where like I felt a lot more free, man. I felt lighter. My relationship with Jesus has been stronger.
It's good, man.
One thing that I've noticed is that I'm very indecisive when it comes to life. But one thing that I feel like I'm good at is I'm able to be joyful in the in between. So even though I'm having a hard time making decisions in life with things, I can still try to when I'm actually in the moment, I can be joyful in that. So that's cool because now the only good thing, not the only good thing. Now the one bad thing about that is I can tend to be more present, but also not pay attention to those things that I'm still indecisive about, and that's where I can that's where like that sluggard can come in, that sluggard side of me that doesn't do much, because then I'm just focused on this weird in between of like trying to be joyful and just like not focusing on the future. Another thing I've been thinking about was just my story, man. Thinking about I know a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think I did my testimony, and I had a good friend of mine reach out to me and talk, and he actually told me he watched it. Shout out to Kyle. But
he watched it.
yeah,
That's
he watched
really cool.
it, and it was cool because he shot me a text, and he was like, "Hey man, like I love you, dude," and he was just like, it was really impactful to hear like your whole testimony, and like he's like, it's cool that you were inspiring to me, and you kept talking to me about God when I wasn't a believer yet. And I was like, dang. So that was really encouraging. And it just made me,
awesome,
it just made me think about my story a little bit and like where I've come from. And that is encouraging because, man, I don't know where I'd be. I don't without Christ. I don't know where I'd be without, being plugged into a church. Like I would just, who knows? I can't even tell y'all. So, yeah, there's that. So that was really cool. And this is just kind of a thought I had. So this is completely random, but it's just a thought I had, which is, with progress comes weight, but with weight comes glory. And are you willing to pick up the weight to achieve glory? So
Kind of like
honestly,
piece that apart at all, or
I mean, to me, it's kind of goes back to the beginning of, when I was talking, which was like this whole idea of like being a slugger and slack hands and all this, like, am I willing to pick up the weight and kind of achieve glory through that progress. Like if I'm so desperately wanting to achieve progress, I have to be willing to take the weight of that glory. And so I guess it's kind of a newer thought. It's something I'm still processing through with you guys live right now. So yeah, man, I don't know. That's just something that came to my mind. So I think that's me like living. It's me wanting to live out of who I really am and not who I think I am. So does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's funny. I actually had this typed up, and I'll prove it.
Oh boy.
Because you had sent me a little bit this about the scoffer stuff earlier.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because I asked you.
but it's funny because I was typing it, and then I actually saw you, and I was like, oh, I might as well just talk to him. As you can see here, I started typing this. And what I typed to him when he said this is, what's going to be different this time from the other times that you've had this epiphany that you might be a scoffer or a sluggard to this? Because I believe you, right? But what's going to be different as far as what you're going to do with this to not stay there?
I think my attitude, man. I think my attitude can really suck sometimes. And I think it feels different this time. Like it feels like I am having a much better attitude about it, and I think that's gonna push towards action.
But but what happens if you don't feel that way tomorrow? So how do you take the feelings and move it to action? Instead of waiting and like banking on the feelings to keep fueling the action.
So
Do you get what I'm saying?
yes. So I think the reason why my attitude is better is because I've had a better relationship with Christ.
Okay, but that still's not answering me what's going to be action-wise so that you don't stay a scoffer and a sluggard and these things that you said. Like, because right now you're saying, hey, I think I'm going to change because I have it's more positive, which is great.
Yeah.
But what is the changes coming from that so that when you start that ball rolling, and you have a day where you don't feel as motivated, that you're still got momentum going? You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. I think I'm going to make decisions quicker. So, like, I don't know if is that considered an action? Like, I want to.
Is it? Is that an action?
I think so. 'Cause at least for me, like, actually making a choice and then doing it.
But how does that relate?
Because I think that's part of one of the reasons why I can be like a sluggard is like I get so caught up in like not making a choice that I do nothing. So
Choice
making
about what?
Like whether that's like what am I going to do for work or what am I going to do for like what am I going to do in this day, like that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Okay, so then you decided. Then what?
And then I do it.
Okay. So I guess for me, when I think about what makes someone a sluggard and not is when they get to the point of doing it. It's not just deciding. I think it's cool that you follow that through, right? You actually have a plan to get there. But like, I really want to encourage you, man. You got to like make the action the focus. So how do I get to the action? How do I get to the actual forward progress movement, the actual movement? And and I believe you. I don't think you just described it, but like make sure that once you make a decision, you're still having to make effort to do something.
And I think that one thing that'll really help me is if I don't do it alone. So like if I tell someone I'm going to do something, that's going to put weight on me. Gotcha. So if I'm like, hey, I've made this choice to do this thing now, I want to tell you guys so then you guys can hold me accountable to it. Because then if I don't, then there's weight to that. There's weight to not doing what I said I was going to do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Cool. Because I tend to try to do this by myself a lot, and then it just spills out on people, and then it's rough. Because then I'm spilling on people, and I'm putting my stress on people. So like, if I just tell people when I make the choice to do what I'm going to do, and I tell them that, I feel like that kind of takes that away. Because then they know what I'm supposed to be doing, and they can hold me to it, and it's not just me spilling and freaking out and being anxious. So, yeah. That's kind of in general where I guess that is life in a nutshell. But yeah, thanks for the questions, man, because it helps me process even more.
Go ahead.
Because like even that last part, I was like, that just randomly came to my mind.
I think that's cool, man, and like I just wanted also people to know that like we have these conversations off camera.
Yes,
that text I just hadn't hit send, and it's because you were there. You came in the stairwell right as I was standing at the top. That's what I was
so
doing.
funny.
I was texting. I was like, there ain't no point in texting. So I'm talking.
Yeah.
Because I thought you were up here, and I was going to send it, and then that way we'd have it ahead of time to talk. So, and if you guys are out there, that's being friends with people, like, and being involved, and like actually taking the time out of our day. And I don't do it all the time. And I've told you this. I want to make a better effort of being present and in the moment again, because I think I used to be, and it's something I've gotten away from. But you guys got to do that too for your loved ones. If you're married, your your boyfriend's girlfriends, your mom and dad, your friends, your coworkers. Like, take the time to slow down and actually hear someone.
Definitely.
And not just go, you know. I caught myself doing that this morning, so with someone else.
I'm pretty guilty of that myself. Like, I can find myself because I'm just in 1,000 different places.
Yeah, dude, that's what's funny. We're probably both a little similar, just different. You can either be very, very distracted or very present. Mm-hmm. There's no in between with you.
Oh, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, and I think what's tough for you is that when you, and you haven't done this in a while, but when you go through those periods of being distracted a lot, then you kind of come out of it and you want your friends to be around you. You're like, where's everybody at? And then you're bummed because they're gone.
Yeah.
Good quote. I'm not putting quotations. They're not gone, but you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like you go underwater and you come back and like when you were first swimming, people were around you. Then you go under and you come back and no one's there. You're like, oh, or they're like way over there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty cool.
Yeah, man. How about you? How is the highway of life for TB?
Well, this morning, I got a chance to talk to my mom in person. So my mom came and spent time with Daisy, which enabled me to get ahead in my day a little bit. Because a lot of people don't know, I like my pretty much Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, very long days for me.
Oh yeah, very long days.
Because I'm with her, and I wouldn't trade that for half the day, Daisy that is, and then the other half I have to work to make up that time. Mm-hmm. But my mom came today, and I don't get a chance to talk to my mom a lot. My mom comes to see Daisy quite a bit, but I don't really get a chance to talk to her. It's really more to see her. So I tried to, so hopefully, I don't think she listens to this show, so maybe I'll send it to her. But it was kind of cool. My mom's a pretty cool lady, man. I think I've touched on this before, but my mom's pretty special. And I know everybody says that, and every mom is special, but, you know, talking to my mom, I've said this before, my mom was 17 years old, almost 18 when she had me. I want you to, like, consider that for a second. And by the age of, 22, she had 3 kids that were 4.5 and under.
Man.
So, you know, she grew up in Appalachia, which is eastern Kentucky. Appalachia area is what they call, like, West Virginia, eastern Kentucky. So we're in eastern Kentucky. Shout out Floyd County. What up?
Floyd County.
That's where I was born. And, man, my mom is a really unique lady. And, you know, left everything that she knew down there. Her family's very, very close. She's got like 10 brothers and sisters. I've told you this. I've got like 43 first cousins. That's wild, on one side.
That's wild.
But so I say all that because, you know, she said something today, and this is just me being really real, and I haven't really processed this at all. This is literally the first time because I came straight here.
Real talk, man.
And, you know, I don't want to get too much into it because you guys know, and long-term listeners know, I really struggle sometimes to talk about my family and my life, even though it's part of my story. Because I love my family. You guys know this.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes if you took snippets, you could be like, this guy doesn't care about his family, you know, or he's hurt or whatever. And it's like, no, it's not that. The vast majority of things I feel for my family are kind of awe and respect, right? And like, man, especially being an adult, I know how hard that would have been.
Oh, yeah.
And my mom, listen, my mom and my dad, but I want to talk about my mom today. My mom did it on her own. She didn't have help. She didn't, as far as, you know, from parents or anything. They literally worked their way up, you know, and I think she's okay. My mom started as like a burger flipper at McDonald's. And I tell people all the time, and she's now a regional supervisor. She won the national, I don't know if I even told you guys this. My mom won a national award from Cobco Corporations nationally, okay? Wow. She's a rock star, and so I'm proud of her in that, and I have probably some of my work ethic from her. But, you know, if I'm just being real blunt with you, she carried a lot of weight growing up, and was it really, you know, and I'll try not to get emotional here because talking to her today made me think about this again. But she carried a lot of weight for me and my siblings alone a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times. And you know what's crazy about my mom? You know, my dad and my mom, they're not together anymore. Mm-hmm. But my dad, and whenever they would have problems growing up, and like looking back through adult eyes, I know that. What's incredible is my mom never talked negative about my dad one time.
It's pretty cool.
In my entire life, dude.
It's pretty cool.
It makes me emotional because that's crazy. And I know I couldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying? Even just from emotions. And she never did that. And she never made us feel like we didn't have anything. Do you know what I'm saying? Like even during tough times in our life when we didn't have probably the finances really, she always made sure that every holiday was special.
She made a way, man.
She did. She made a way for us to always have holidays and to have gifts and birthdays. And she said something today, and I don't even know if I've told you this. I kind of hinted at it. So I've got two brothers. I got a brother, and I'm the oldest. I got a younger brother, a younger sister, and then I have a half-sister who is like 17. So a big difference, age difference. But when I say my brother and sister at this moment, I'm talking about the two I grew up with. It's interesting, man, because we kind of talked today about the difference between how she interacts with my brother and sister and how she interacts with me. And it was kind of cool because trying to have, what I've tried to do lately, and I encourage this for you guys too, is to be who I am, who I really am as an adult man with my mom. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I want to have a real relationship with my parents, meaning, and to have a real relationship with them means I've got to like be like I am with you guys, like who I really am. And I said that to her, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I haven't really been me with you. Not that I've been fake, but you guys know what I mean by that. I've just kind of kept it sort of businessy at times.
Yeah, I 100% get what you're saying.
Am I rambling too much? Is this disinteresting?
No, this is good.
So I'll try to, apologize if it's going long for you guys, but this is really something to process.
Real talk, man. That's what it is.
So she said something today with her being alone a lot, and this was sort of validating. She said, a lot of times growing up, man, this is me. She said it was just me and you, is what she said. And that's was kind of validating in a way because she said this too. I carried a lot of weight as a kid, a lot of weight, especially during times when it was just my mom. And I don't mind that, right? That she needed me. She did. She needed me. And I guess it kind of did feel like that sometimes. It's funny when you grow up a certain way, you don't know what, I didn't know I was carrying that weight because that's just how it is. You know what I mean? Like that was my life. And it wasn't bad. That's not what I'm saying. But it's interesting, man, because it kind of gave me flashbacks to a lot of my life when like it was that way, being the oldest, and even as a kid, and some of you out there probably know what I mean if you're the oldest especially, it's like, I want to take care of my mom even when I was a little kid,
Yeah.
And I still want to take care of my mom even though she would never let me, right? She just isn't. But it was really interesting to have her tell me, same thing my dad, I talked to my dad a couple months ago. And I say this to people all the time. Listen, some people are going to be like, what are you wondering about your family? It's like, dude, I love my family. And listen, a lot of you out there that make those comments, you're not making any effort to have a relationship with your parents. And you take that for granted. And you don't want to interact, or you don't want to deal with maybe hurts, or you don't want to deal with the past at all. And, it's not like it's always bad. It's just interesting to try to become who I am now with my parents. But I've been very independent for a long time. And she said that today, too. Like, I've done a lot of stuff on my own. But that's led to a really weird dynamic in my family. Because out of all of the family, my siblings, and I have nieces and nephews, I am the one that is probably spoken to the least and has the most. I'm kind of the black sheep, is what I feel like. And I don't mean that in a whiny way, but partially what she said was because I'm independent, I don't need anything. And it's like, she said something really powerful, and this isn't an insult to my siblings at all, but she's like, they needed more, and now she is. And I didn't, and I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my dad said the same thing a few months ago.
Wow.
Where he said, I think I told you this. He said, I know everything that you've done, you did on your own. And it's just put me in a weird spot because I started thinking of how, like, there's a lot of benefits to that. We just talked about this the other day. There's a lot of benefits to it. Like, I grind, right? I take care of business. I don't quit. But sometimes I wonder if that's made me hard, or made me, contributed to my, I don't know. It's hard for me to need people.
Like when you, what I'm saying? Emotionally?
In any way. It's hard for me to need people in any way. You know
I
that.
gotcha.
And I'm not, it's really popular to say this crap. I had a good childhood, okay? I was blessed. I have been blessed by my parents. They gave me a lot of opportunities that a lot of people don't have. So I want to be clear on that. They gave me a lot. But I'm saying once I got to a certain age, man, I've my siblings, they did need more. And, your parents are adults. They're human beings with their own feelings and their own issues and their things that they struggle with, right? Like,
Yeah.
we all have those things.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're just humans.
They're human, man.
Yep.
And that's what makes them amazing,
Yeah.
And so I guess all that to say, it was really cool to talk to my mom. Like, I tried to be present like I am with you, I just said, with my mom today, and just listen to her and be able to hear her, where she's at in her life right now, and, some of her stresses, and then just kind of be able to ask some questions. And it wasn't like this super deep thing, this heart-to-heart thing, because it didn't get to last very long, but it's left me with a lot of, I think, questions for myself of, okay, certainly I know the positives. The positives of sort of, quote, being on my own, end quote, right? Grinding, doing this
Yeah.
has been great. There are definitely positives. I'm a hard worker. I don't know, there's a lot of things. But, I wonder how much of that, and this isn't their fault, because it's kind of a cycle, right? I don't need anything. I do it on my own, and then I don't need them, quote, need them. You always need your parents, no matter how old you get.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, like, have I contributed to the idea that I don't need them?
Dude,
You know
that's
what I mean?
interesting. Yeah,
And
because
so-
that hit me too. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
So I don't know. That probably seems like a lot of rambling. I'm trying to figure out what to do with that, How do I have a relationship? Because it is true, man. Like, this is really hard to admit on camera or on video or on audio. Like, I love you guys better than I love my family a lot of times.
Same.
Like, that's blunt talk.
Same.
And it doesn't mean emotionally I don't love them as much.
Sure, but you
But
just
you
mean,
know
like,
me better. You guys know me better. Who I am now.
Agreed.
You know what I'm
well,
saying?
That makes me think about what it means when you are a believer amidst people who are they not?
Sure.
And I don't. That could be like, that's just using my family as an example, but it can create like a weirdness. So like I don't. Maybe that's something.
No, that's good, man. I mean, that definitely is part of it with most of my family.
With most of them, right?
I think that sometimes I put on my mom. Man, this is hard without sounding emotional, because I feel kind of bad about this. I think sometimes I maybe internally, like subconsciously, put me having to be on my own or not need, and I put that kind of like she chose that, like she didn't want to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think that's the case, because I've always known deep in my heart, for the most part, that if my mom loves me, I'm blessed. I know. Let me put it this way: I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, my mom loves me. A lot of people out there that don't know that, but it's just a hard place, man. It's hard to process, and I struggle sometimes on this show because I'm torn between trying to show people out there that it's okay to think this stuff through, and also honoring my family. Because you guys know this, and I say this in case she ever listens to it. You know how much I honor my mom.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
you know that. You both do. Everybody who knows me knows that. That's one of my non-negotiables. We talk about your nuts, right? It's from a book. Your non-negotiable, unalterable terms, and one of those for me is I'll take care of my mom,
Yep.
because she's always taking care of me. Not that she will let me, but man, it's just odd to grow up, man, and then realize and see your parents as adults and humans, and you realize when you look at your parents, and this goes for everyone, and you recognize that they have their own fears and hurts and wounds, and my mom's life growing up was crazy, dude. So for her to give me the life that she gifted me with,
It's a miracle, probably.
it's honest to God, miraculous.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, whether or not my mom knew Jesus when we were growing up, she acted a lot more like Jesus to her kids than a lot of these parents that are, quote, Christians act to theirs. And that's a fact. And she taught me more about faithfulness in the midst of, like, when you're getting nothing in return.
Yeah.
And commitment.
Yeah.
Than really probably anyone in my life.
I was about to say, yeah. I mean, that's, yeah.
But, the other side of that, and it's funny because I know people don't have the full background. You guys do. I'm just pretty much like I'm talking to you right now. But I don't know if I can go back, though. Like, this is where I don't think I can go back to needing, you know what I'm saying?
Because is that because of like the scars, or is that because?
Yeah, man.
of,
Like, I mean, there's definitely some hurts there.
yeah,
There's definitely some hurts there,
or it's just because it would be.
and I don't want to.
I was about to say.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to, because there's a part of me, dude, that loves the fact that I did it. Do you know what I'm saying? That like, and that's probably not a good part of me. Is like, I didn't need you, right? Not even necessarily to my mom. That sounds really harsh, but because, you know, when I look at my mom, I look at a victim, if I'm honest, and so she would hate that in some ways because she had to. Man, she just had to take care of a lot of stuff.
Had a rough go of it, man.
Only some of it. She would say she had a great life. She doesn't whine. You gotta know my mom. She ain't a whiner. She don't complain. And that's why I hesitate to talk about this. And even as I'm saying, I was like, am I gonna make him cut this? But because I want to honor her so bad, and I never know the line, you know. But really, if it comes back to me, I don't know. You know, there's certain things that happen in our life, dude, that I don't know if you can ever get back. And I've told you that before. There's things inside of me, man.
Things have been shaped
that have been broken
Yeah.
off, right? That I can't be. And it's the beauty of God and the Holy Spirit is He takes that, right? That part of these things that I am, and He sanctifies it anyway. And even though and this is hard to accept, man, there's things that, you know, we always think we're going to heal, right? Emotionally. We think that there's going to come a day, and I know we talked fun term, we talked about this, like you hold out hope, things are going to work out. You're going to have this deep relationship with the people you love.
Yeah.
It's all going to come together like a Hallmark movie, and it's all going to be great. And you're going to wake up tomorrow and be trusting of people, and you're going to wake up tomorrow and know how to do things, you know, emotionally the right way. But here's the thing, dude, that might not happen.
That's really good.
You know, I may never be able to feel normal in relation to needing people, trusting people, being the family that I want to give, you know. But, and here's the thing, here's the but, and this is what I meant by, it kind of goes to what you said about action. That doesn't mean that I can't live that out. You see what I'm saying?
That's right, 'cause
even
faith
if
isn't
I
about-
never feel comfortable doing it, real love means I'm going to give my daughter what I don't know how to give.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, because it's not about how you feel, man. It's the
about
action. It's about what you do with it.
because I can know what's right, even if I don't feel like doing that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep.
And I got to quit waiting, and this hit me today. I got to quit waiting to heal, man, because it may never happen.
That's really good.
And God's
dude.
taken me, right? And that's the beauty of it is like, I believe it's Jacob, right, that wrestles with God.
Yeah.
And it's a powerful thing, man. Jacob wrestles with God, and it says, you know, he contended with God, changed his name, and he walked with a limp forever after that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
God loved him, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes, man, I think I told you I had a mentor say that to me before, the guy that I still haven't messaged back. But like I feel like that's just who it is. And we've got to learn to walk with those limps and still honor God. Instead of waiting and saying the only way that I can honor him is if he fixes that
when
limp.
I'm not limping anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm not saying I live that, right? And neither do you. But like, I think internally, I keep going, oh, tomorrow, right? You know, when I was 19, I'm like, hey, when I'm 23, I'll be healed.
Yep.
Oh no, when I'm 25, I'll be fixed. You know, last year. And does that make sense?
No,
or
dude,
did it
that's so good,
No,
man.
100%
No,
makes
that is such a like, dude. That you want to talk about wrestling with faith and like wrestling with like the foundation of what life is supposed to be like, dude. Like you just hit the nail on the head with what it is, because like that is what faith is. Walking when it's like that. That's what it is. So like,
even if the healing doesn't come. And that's the part that's hard about life, dude. And here's the cool thing. Sometimes he does heal parts of me. There's parts of me that have been healed.
absolutely,
Dude, there are parts of me
That's
that
the
are
miracle
healed.
of all
yes,
this.
but you know, maybe the limp will always
But the
be there.
miracle's still part of the limp too.
That's
the
true.
That's the beauty in it.
That's true.
He heals, but there's also still the miracle doesn't just lie in what he heals. The miracle lies in the fact that you still go despite that.
And that he's there with you the whole way.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Y'all
all
better
that
be
came from
listening.
this weird talk. What?
Said y'all better be listening. I'm serious. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah, I don't have any answer. Anyway, I love my mom. Shout out to my mom if she's listening. She probably
Shout out, Mom.
Yeah, she's a cool lady. I'm very thankful for my mom. Thankful for my dad too, but I'm really thankful. Today was about my mom. And
That's
she
good
loves
stuff,
she
man.
loves Daisy really well too,
Yeah.
man, which is awesome.
Oh yeah. Thanks for sharing, dude.
yeah.
That's good stuff, man.
One other thing I'll throw out is I felt kind of motivated lately too. So Got a couple business ventures. I know I've said that. I'm pushing through. My goal is kind of like I said, I'm betting on myself this week, and I've told people I'm going to do it this week. So be on the lookout for that.
Nice.
It's coming. I'm going to do it. So kind of goes with the fun size philosophy today a little bit. How I got
Fun
there.
size philosophy.
Anyway, that's the end of that. Thank you for listening to my boo-hoo-hooey.
Your boo-hoo-hooey is not... It's good stuff, so don't think you're complaining and whining because you're not. So
Yeah. Thank
I
you.
know how you are.
What are you talking about? But moving on to more joyful things. As you all know, I've been attempting to be a fun person.
Yeah.
And it turns out that I suck at it because I haven't done a single one of the ones I did except
you did a
for
few.
I did one. I told you guys I love you.
Yeah, you
told
did.
people I loved them.
It was so funny because it was out of nowhere. You go, hey, man, I love you. I love you too,
You were
man.
so genuinely like,
I love you too. I was like, yeah, thank
what did you
you.
think when I said that?
I was
Because
like,
you probably forgot.
I was like, that was so nice.
Well, I meant it.
Oh, man.
So I did download a video game because that was one of the other ones. If you don't know what we're talking about, we're trying to get me because I need to start having fun and making time for that. And so what happened is on Real Talk Live, and last week we made kind of a master list. We've asked you guys to pitch in with ideas. You can do that at www.theremnant.live/real-talk
Boom.
and use the submit a button to give an idea for things to do. And the plan is every day I'm going to do something. Now, it's going to take me a little bit to warm up.
Yeah, he's got to warm up.
So I'm still going to make up the ones that I haven't done.
Yes.
Okay, so that means I got to go karting. Well, here's what happened with that. I've got there's one in the Wayne of Fort that's close to here.
Wayne of Fort.
That's indoor. I'm going to have to go to that one because the outdoor one here isn't doing it right now because it's cold.
Oh, yeah, because it's cold.
So I'm going to go to that. I told people I love them. All right, I have to play a video game. I'm downloading that as we speak. And then there was one more. Do you remember what it was? Oh, braiding hair.
Oh, yeah,
Braiding hair. So I did bring that up and did get a chance to do it last night, but I am going to learn how to do that because that was one of them. So today, my friend, I am going to do something you're not even going to believe.
Oh, boy.
We're going to do one for today,
Okay.
one for tomorrow, and one for Thursday, and then Thursday we'll do them again for the next week.
Got you.
And I've decided
Okay.
that you two are going to do this. Because you foolishly made the mistake of telling me that you don't have fun either.
It's true.
So the question remains: do you just want to do the same ones I'm doing,
Sure.
or do you want to do different ones?
I say we do the same things. This becomes Todd and AJ's fun list, and we get to do fun things
All right.
together. And
Clint?
you bet we're going to film it all.
That is true. We are going to film. So what's your name? Fun turn. We got 1 through 31, and you can continue to add. Let's go ahead. Fun turn. What is our? So we need 3. What's our first number?
3.
3.
What is it?
Dress up like Thor and get some professional pictures taken. Maybe Sid can take them.
This is absolutely incredible.
So we're gonna have to. I'm just gonna change it slightly to superheroes.
'Kay.
Because we need to get a hold of Sydney.
Okay.
All right, and we need to get this done. Now, clearly, that's gonna probably be moved to like tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? And we'll flip it. But I'm circling it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you already have one for today, and we're watching it later tonight. It's nobody. You have to
But
watch
that
Nobody.
one is technically one for another time. Remember, I got to double up.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
double
it'll
up,
be
baby.
fine. So we got that one. Dress up like superheroes, get professional pictures taken. It's so ridiculous. I want you to understand this is ridiculous, but
We
I'm
can
going to do
reach
it.
out to her tonight.
What's next?
29.
Oh, man. 29.
Visit a pub.
All right. We got to go to a pub.
Okay,
Does the local
We can
place
finally
count as
celebrate
a pub?
everybody's birthday.
that's true.
Oh, man.
Two
we gotta
birds.
go.
So
One stone.
I mean, we got to really do this. I got to plan this. So
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow or Thursday for like a lunch.
Mm.
All right, and then finally one more.
One more.
17.
But I am going to watch
17.
Nobody tonight. You are right.
Yes.
What is
17?
17?
Invite yourself to the Joneses' house for dinner.
Oh, man.
So
Guess who's getting dinner? Me too.
I will be. So I will be reaching out to the. You know what? I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to reach out because I know exactly who sent this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There is no doubt in my mind.
The best part is they all signed their stuff. I just had to take out the
No,
signatures.
that makes
'cause
sense.
I was like,
Where- Hello,
Oh, man.
I am officially
Nice. This is good stuff.
inviting myself to your house for dinner this week.
You
sometime.
got to include me. They have to know I'm coming too.
I will. I will.
All right. Because this is officially Todd and AJ's fun list now.
All right, done.
Dude, how are you not stressed about this fun list? I already feel stressed about this fun list. I don't know
Because
how
you don't
you're
have
not.
fun.
There's so many factors.
Yeah.
This is why we're unhealthy people.
It's true.
Look, man. If you just do one, it's not that stressful. The only one that I thought was stressful was the go karting.
That one is a little stressful. And it's going to cost
Go
me money.
karting, there's a lot of things that got a lot.
Dude,
of
we can all do that though, and it's going to be a blast. Because
yeah.
apparently this place in Fort Wayne, dude, these
can
things are so fast you
can
can't
charge up-
drive them if you're under 18.
We can charge up the GoPros and take the GoPros with us.
That's a great idea.
So they're gonna give the slow one to me because
Can we?
Lord knows if
can
I
we?
start going
That's ridiculous.
fast.
Can we talk about the pictures for a second?
Yeah.
Because to be fair, I think we can adjust a little. Becoming Thor is going to add to it. So I have two options. Either one, we just take professional pictures in some kind of fun way, or we dress up in medieval things because I have an entire
was
thing
literally
of
thinking
medieval things.
I say we adjust it
family
and do
photo.
medieval.
Medieval. All right, medieval. We have the outfit for this. We will be dressing up as medieval characters,
This is great.
swords included,
Swords included.
and
We need Cowboy Kenny to join us because he has a full-on armor.
yeah,
he has armor now.
he
has
has
a
full armor.
full armor suit.
No,
he knows how to
doesn't.
put it
I
on.
promise.
When did he buy this?
This was
this was for
before-
Halloween.
It was supposed to come for our trunk or treat, and then it just came.
He
late.
bought a full suit of armor.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can take you into the other room and show you to you.
That's
right now.
unbelievable. And you know what's crazy about this guy? We're supposed to be family. I don't know anything about this guy. I did not know this. Also,
'cause-
is it
'cause-
leather?
No,
Or-
it's plate.
Do you know how
plate.
much money he spent on that?
Oh, absolutely.
And this is why if I ever hear him say, I don't have the money to get a taco, I'm going to go, okay, Cal.
Why don't you go clunk around in your armor?
Has he put it on yet?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
put it
does.
on.
Look cool?
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
Does
I
it
wouldn't
fit
call
him?
it a
Yeah, it fits him.
Uh-huh. I wouldn't call it a full like plate
It's
mail
funny
suit,
because
like
it
proper
put into
plate mail, but
perspective-
definitely like it has the breastplate.
About
like,
how heavy it is?
Yeah.
How heavy and also
Loud.
how loud it is.
Now
Because
you
I think
understand
about
disadvantage stealth.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Because we were like, try to sneak around.
You couldn't do it?
No.
That's funny. I had to laugh like a supervillain. I'm going to get you. Anyway, moving on. You ready for some fun-sized philosophy?
I'm ready for some fun-sized philosophy. This is exciting.
Fun-sized philosophy. Here's my thoughts for the day, folks.
Thoughts for the day.
Now, you've heard some of this, but I've been pondering.
Okay.
It's wrapped around this idea.
Okay.
The idea of being great versus settling for mediocrity.
Okay.
Now, I want to ask you guys this, and this is both of you, and I want you to be bluntly honest.
Got you.
Now, I know you've been under this a little, like you've been pushing this area a little bit because of me.
Yeah.
But maybe you have to think about before we got to know each other. If I were to tell you that I want to be great, or I want you to be great before then, what's the feeling that comes to your mind or thought?
Doubt.
Doubt. Okay. Why?
I didn't believe in myself.
Okay, but what about if I said even before, say back in the day you just met me, like I'm going to be great. What would you think about me?
Oh, like if you said
No,
that,
no. I wanted both. You answered it, but also let's say you heard me say that about myself. So
I'd believe in you.
when you first met me,
Absolutely. Because
wouldn't have thought I was arrogant?
Because I'm a supporter of people chasing their dreams and all that. I've always been like that.
what about you, Fun Turn?
When I first met you, I'd probably go, okay.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, what are you trying to do? I'd probably ask a few questions or just go,
'cause I'd be
okay,
like,
cool.
Great at what? Yeah, exactly.
And or be like, okay, well, once I knew you a little bit more, knowing me, I'd probably be like, okay, cool. Or I'd be like, sure, go do that.
So
With the half side of like, okay, we'll see. Like,
the very fact, and you all made my point. I'm going to tell you guys right now. I believe that the only thing holding back the majority of people, the difference between the people that are great and the people, and what do you mean by great, Todd? Do you mean better than other people? Yeah, I mean people that become great, whether that's their own definition, because like a great, whatever realm or arena you want to be in.
Yep.
You out there listening right now, I bet you most of you do not believe that great is ever a goal that you'll ever reach. That I'm going to become something great.
Yeah.
But that's because you've been conditioned to accept that there is already a cap on your value.
Absolutely.
That unless you are a movie star, a billionaire, professional athlete, that you cannot be great because that has already been determined for you.
Yeah, it's already determined, or it's like I already see the definition of it, and I'm like, no, that can't happen. Like, which I guess that is being conditioned to think that. So,
Let me give you an example. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. When I say that to people, most people have, if I say you can be great, they have the thought both of you kind of implied, right? Which is, you don't believe in yourself. Who taught you? When did it shift from the little boy that was you, who thought he could be a professional baseball player, for instance, right?
Yep.
To, or, famous stand-up comedian, whatever it was you wanted to be when you're a kid, especially a kid. Because when you're a kid, I remember distinctly saying, I can be a zookeeper, I'm going to be an author, right? I'm going to be professional. And then people begin to tell you what's, quote, realistic and what's not. And if you think about that, dreams die as we age. So I feel like it's kind of the opposite. You know how like a seed becomes a flower over time? I feel like when you're a child, you're already born with the flower of dreams and like greatness. And then what happens is life begins to choke that out.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely agree with that. Yes.
Why is that? What is it about life that begins to make us believe that dreaming isn't realistic? That we can't, okay, let me put it a different way, that we can't make our dreams a reality.
The older I got, the more I was hurt.
By what?
By people.
Okay, how does
who
that
didn't
relate?
believe in me.
There you go. Right? And they tell you that if you fail in an area or you don't succeed immediately, that it's not going to happen.
That and also like stumbling points.
What do you mean?
Like, for example, like my music, right? That was when I was even 18. When the band decided to break up, that's when I was like, nope, that's it. It's over. So like I allowed a stumbling block to end it. I didn't keep pushing.
Well, listen, and that's why I said that makes sense, and I want to use that. So the idea of being great, though, isn't necessarily limited to a specific thing. So say you wanted to be that musician, and somehow you decided in life, okay, that's not going to happen. But the pursuit of that, if you had that belief in yourself, you would have just turned that pursuit of becoming a musician when you hit the wall, right? Because sometimes it doesn't work, to some other venture that's still just as great.
Interesting.
But because you hit that wall of musician ends, now there's no momentum. There's nothing. I'm going to fail in everything because I didn't make this.
Yeah, because at that point there was nothing else.
When I talk to people, man, most people let other human beings in this world, or let the world, or let the system, or culture, society dictate for them what their life's going to be. And my question to that is, or I guess my encouragement or my thought is, do you, as Christians, we are free. We know who we are. We are sons of the Most High. And even if you're not a Christian out there, you're still made in the very image of God, whether you know it yet or not. Our value is very high.
Yeah.
So, and I use this not racially, so all the woke people run away. Are we slaves to a system that wants us to not believe in ourselves and wants us to settle for being a wage slave and being a person that just feeds the system? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because then the ones on top, they don't have to worry about
Us.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm not saying say you are a mailman. I'm not talking about a job. You can be great in this life and view and make impact regardless of what you do to make money. But I think a lot of us settle into the role that was easiest for us to get, not what we actually wanted. And so what ends up happening is that concept or that habit of settling then affects every other part of our life.
That's really good, man.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, because
Very
then
much so.
you get stuck in it so deeply that you eventually forget what you even wanted.
That's what I mean. You're right, absolutely right. So when I look at, let's look at physical fitness. Okay. I certainly know that weight and being big, sometimes there's genetic predispositions.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say weight, I said fit, right? Let's take that for example. Look at America. What does it say, right? Let's try to connect these dots. Mediocrity. You have a ceiling on what you can accomplish in this life, right? You're told that. You're forced to believe that.
Yeah.
So what happens then?
You lose hope.
You lose hope. And what happens when you lose hope?
You do nothing.
You do nothing, bro. And you take the easiest way in everything, right? Whether that's the fast food, whether that's the easy thing. And here's what I've been told, I've heard, and I believe. Okay. The way that you present yourself physically. I'm not now. Fitness is a part of that.
Yeah.
Okay, particularly with men, I would say, well, anybody, but also just the way you take care of yourself. So it's not a weight thing. Is a direct reflection of your own view of yourself.
Yeah.
Think about it.
It's also
If you don't put, if you've met the people, they don't take showers, they don't brush their hair, they don't brush their teeth. I'm not talking about missing it. They just wake up and move. What does that really say about how they view life and view themselves? They're not valuable enough to themselves to take a shower, to brush their hair.
Yeah, man.
You get what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because and here's what I mean by that. Why wouldn't they? Because they think that even if I did my best, it wouldn't be enough. So what's the point?
Yep. Man, dude.
So here's what I'm trying to say. If you're in that position and you feel kind of hopeless, you feel like life is kind of like, gray and dull, I got a challenge that you're not going to like. Probably.
I'm listening.
But start simply. Start making strides in your physical fitness. I'm serious. So I'm not saying you got to go to the gym tomorrow, okay? Though you could, and you could go. What I'm saying is it could start as simply as every single day you're going to go walk for 20 minutes. And you're like, well, I can't do that. Then 10 minutes. I can't do that. Then 2 minutes, and you build your way up. Every single day, whether you're tired, whether it's cold, whether it's raining, whether you're sad, whether your toe hurts, whether you feel it, you get up and you walk every single day.
Nice.
And after that, for a while, you're going to start to build confidence because you start to stack up victories, right?
Yep.
Because all of a sudden, you're going to realize that you're capable of more than you think you're capable of, right?
Absolutely.
And then
man.
it turns to maybe it's what's the next step after that? Because it's kind of the same reason in the military. And we talked to Mad Max about this, and I've known this. Why do you think in the military they make you make your bed?
So you start the day off with a victory.
Yeah, it's certainly discipline, right? And it's a discipline. Because if you can do that, you're going to have the mind power and the discipline to do other things.
Yep.
And that's the thing, man. Don't give up hope if you're out there. I really believe, I truly believe, for instance, our church can change the community, the culture, the world, that we can be a part of that. Some people roll their eyes at that. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the people that roll their eyes at that, they're settling. That's the way I view it. They're settling for what life's told them is realistic. Because here's the thing. Somebody's going to shape culture. Someone's going to influence something.
Somebody,
so why
absolutely.
can't it be us? Why can't you walk in faith? Why can't it be us? Because God's really just looking for people that are willing.
Man, dude.
Does that all make sense? I feel
Absolutely.
like I've rambled a
That makes
lot
a ton
today.
of
But
sense.
No, dude. You
just been thinking
it's
a
not
lot
rambling.
about, so that kind of tied with what I said motivation-wise, is sometimes I do that to myself even. I've accomplished a lot, and most of the cool things I've accomplished, people told me I couldn't do. Whether that's arena football, whether that's this church, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's not realistic, blah, 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 blah. And so on the one hand, it's like, yeah, I've had successes, but I still have the same resistance. Remember we talked about that early on,
Yep.
the idea of resistance. I hit resistance and don't do the things I want to do, like these business ideas. They seem so big, when the truth is I don't need to do it all at once. I need to take the step to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, dude.
And so I'm going to do that.
Dude, this is so good.
It's kind of what inspired me today.
I love it, bro.
So you can do that too, whatever that looks like. Don't settle for mediocrity. You are made for more than gray. You are made, and that doesn't mean you're going to be a millionaire. You don't need to be.
No.
But if that's a goal, why not? Here's what we say all the time. Pick your sacrifice. Whatever you want to do is going to take a sacrifice. So getting up every day and going for that walk is going to take a sacrifice. Less sleep, soreness, being wet, cold, whatever. But the end result, right, is 10 times worth the sacrifice you give.
Dude.
Anyway, that's my view. Fun size philosophy. Boom.
Fun size philosophy is going to be one of my favorite segments because
Oh, yeah.
I feel inspired even just talking about it.
You do too, man. We all talk about philosophy. That's why I was like, you might as well do what we talk about.
I love it. This is
You do
awesome.
it too. You like the thoughts when you go, what do you think about this? That's what we're doing.
Yeah, dude.
You're great. Believe it. You can be great. Moving on.
All right.
AJ, I'd like to ask you a question. It's an anonymous question.
What is it?
So our first question for the day, we got some great questions for you guys, is, AJ,
Yes.
if you could remember all of your childhood, the good and the bad, would you want to?
Oh, man. That's a great question.
All of it.
All of it. Man. I don't think I would, man. Because, it might change who I am now.
That's really good.
So, with what I remember, now, I think I would rather just deal with what I have now because it's led me to where I am. And maybe if I did know, it wouldn't. So, that's, yeah. What about you?
You kind of made a really good point, because at first I was like, yes, because kind of what I talked about earlier. If I could see certain things, I wonder if I would be more forgiving and understanding. But maybe it would have the opposite effect, and I would be less. But you're right. I think it would change who I am. And without knowing whether that's better or worse, not necessarily want to take that chance.
Mm-hmm.
Great question, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Philosophical question, by the way.
Oh, absolutely it is.
Punter, you got a thought on that real quick?
Well, strange, I actually thought when asking the question, a lot of what I'm doing in my life right now is unlocking parts of my childhood that I've never thought about or processed. So even the stuff that, like, recently in my whole journey of life, it's been doing this, where it is trying to remember everything and then starting to put it together of, like, what was the cause of, okay, why did this happen? What's the reality of the situation? What is everything that happened? And let's come to terms with this, and then let's process this.
But let's
and then
say in this
deal with it.
case, you actually know everything. Do you want to know that?
I think
Good
I
and bad.
would, because I think looking at myself now, I think that's probably why I have so much pain and at times even anger, because I don't understand, because I can't see everything fully.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
You're up, my friend.
All right.
Good
if you- this is on a lighter note, but if you had to pick between Al Bundy or Uncle Rico for your franchise quarterback, who are you choosing and why?
So Al Bundy's from Married with Children, and I remember this guy primarily because our good friend Jason, he has been binging this show.
Yep.
And then Uncle Rico is from
Napoleon
Dynamite,
Dynamite.
which I have not seen. However, I know the scene they're talking about.
Yeah.
So that being said, and I've learned a little info, being reminded from Jason. I'm going with Uncle Rico, and here's why. Al Bundy was a running back, not a quarterback. Even though he scored 4 or 5 touchdowns in some game. And Uncle Rico can throw a football over a mountain.
That's right. Listen, man, Uncle Rico, he's my pick too. He's got, the confidence level's high.
You got to have that swag.
And he's got that swagger. He does, man. He's gonna lead a team. So I'm with Uncle Rico as well.
It's crazy. Good question. All right, AJ, number 2, switching
Yes.
back to more serious. I feel like this is just forcing. Okay, so they shared an article, and the article is same-sex marriage vote from Senate. There's an article here. I feel that this is just forcing their beliefs and calling it love, saying a state has to honor a same-sex marriage if it happened in a different state and theirs is against it. What are your thoughts?
So we kind of glanced over it, and I was a little confused at first, but because I was like, wait, is this like a federal thing? But like,
It is.
so like, I agree with what you're saying.
So essentially, for everyone here, what happened is they took a vote, and some Republicans, it's a Democrat push vote, some Republicans joined them. And essentially what this does, the base level it's going to have is it supposedly protects interracial marriages and same-sex marriages. It's interesting they put those together, like they're the same.
Yeah.
But the idea is, so a state is still sovereign if it wanted to later. I'm sure this is because of what happened with the abortion stuff.
Yeah.
But the state can, because they were afraid the Supreme Court might vote against this probably sometime in the future. So what they said is, what it does, and you mentioned this, is that even though a state could say, okay, there's no same-sex marriages happen here, they still have to honor one that happens in a different state, which just, right, what does that mean? It means they can never prevent it because people just drive to that state and then come home.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I agree with what they said.
I just think it's a shady, like, take out even my view of it. What a shady, ridiculous political thing to get around states' rights.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's my, like, beyond the moral and my biblical view of marriage and what it is, right? That stands against that. Politically, I think it's shady, and it's a way that sort of once again weakens states' rights, which this country, was built on.
Definitely.
Good question.
I couldn't agree with you more. Toddy B,
Yeah.
can you explain what it means to work out your salvation like it says in Philippians 2:12?
Well, I have it pulled up here for you. So before this, just to be clear, Philippians chapter 2, he's writing to a church in Philippi. And starting in chapter 2, it says, if then there's any encouragement in Christ, any consolation of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, if any affection and mercy, make my joy complete by thinking the same way, having the same love, unified in spirit, intent on one purpose. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility consider yourselves or others as more important than yourselves. Right? And then right before that, in verses 5 through 11, it's talking about becoming humble like Christ, because Christ gave up, the rights of his divinity to come down to this world. And then we start at 12. It's so weird.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what my phone says.
Philippians 2:12 says, therefore, my dear friend, Therefore, my dear friends, just as you have always obeyed, so now, not only in my presence, but even more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. That's the verse talking about. But this is why we always want to read verses in context. What's the verse after it say? For it is God who is working in you, both to will and to work according to his good purpose. So there are people out there that will use this verse to, and I'm not saying this is you, you're asking a question, which is awesome. They will point to this to make you feel like you can lose your salvation.
Yeah.
We know in the context of all of Philippians, but also 12 and then 13 tells us, for it is God who's working in you both to will and to work according to his good purpose. God is the one finishing the good work in you. So clearly he can't be contradicting himself. So what does it mean? Okay, wait before I get to that. So then also, Paul goes on later to say in chapter 3, verse 12, he says, not that I have reached the goal or I'm already perfect, but I make every effort to take hold of it because I have been taken a hold of by Christ Jesus. Brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself to have taken hold of it, but one thing I do, forgetting what's behind and reaching forward to what is ahead, I pursue as my goal the prize promised by God's heavenly call in Christ Jesus. Therefore, let all of us who are mature think this way.
That's really good.
And if you think differently about anything, God will reveal this also to you. So, in that context, we clearly know he's not saying that your salvation is based on you.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have said it. Remember, he said he held on to me. So what it's saying is, work your salvation out with fear and trembling. Fear in this case is that reverence and awe of like who God is.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we remember. We need to be obedient. Remember sanctification, the process of becoming more holy?
Yep.
It's a partnership between the Spirit. God's going to finish it, enables us to do it, but also we need to be obedient to make that process become easier for us, right?
Yes.
Because God disciplines those he loves, all this stuff. And what it's saying is you need to we need to obey God. And what will help us obey God is remembering who he is, who we are, and who we'd be without Christ.
That's really
and we
good.
are to pursue, that's what the work is, run. We are to pursue being holy, even though he's making us holy. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So
That's
working
really
on your
good.
own, it means being obedient, right? And what's going to help being obedient by following God's word and doing what he tells you to do and not doing what he tells you not to do. And what will help you do that is to remember who God is and who you are. And that those things, right? It says in other parts of Scripture, why would you do the things that are essentially going to be what damns other people, right?
Yep.
You're just saved through Christ. Does this make sense?
Absolutely, man. That's so good.
Great question.
Nice.
I feel like I've talked a lot today.
No, man. Dude, it's all been such good stuff.
All right, thank you. There's another article, and this one hits close to home, AJ.
Yes.
There's an elementary school here in town. I'll just tell everyone. It's called Northern Heights Elementary, and here in old Whitley County, Indiana. And I'll just kind of give the issue and then let you know, get your thoughts. So the gist of it is, in our county, right down the road from this church,
Yeah.
is parents found out that a lesson, elementary school, okay, the article headline is elementary school allegedly gives fifth graders lesson on changing gender during puberty discussions. The lesson, which parents claim was given to children as young as 10 years old, defines, quote, biological sex, end quote, and, quote, gender, end quote, as two different things. It also makes the claim that gender roles are socially constructed and are considered to be stereotyping while making the statement that, quote, everyone's gender identity is unique to them, end quote. The lesson essentially makes the argument that if a boy likes to play that if a girl likes to play boy sports, she's probably actually a boy. So they reached out to the school's principal superintendent and never got a response. And I looked before we started the show just to see, and we still don't have a response. So
Wow.
even close to home now, we're getting this. 10 years old as young as. They're pushing this. What are your thoughts on that? Or what are your thoughts on this article, I guess?
Well, I would say that they're only in fifth grade, man. Like the fact that this is leaking into kids as young as fifth grade is just unbelievable. Because if I was in fifth grade, I would be so confused, man. And I feel so bad for those kids because they are just having so many things thrown at them. I mean, this coming of age of technology is already making it hard for them because there's so much access to so many things. And now you're throwing in something like this. Like, I mean, it has to be overwhelming. So first off, my heart breaks for these kids because they're having to deal with that now. This as well. It's like, dude,
that's hard.
It's confusing, man. It's confusing. Yeah. So it sucks. I don't like it.
Well, it makes you more and more realize when you have your own kids about homeschooling, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this is close to home. You know, people always think it's happening on the East Coast and West Coast. It's right here. I think what's really crappy, too, just being a I said crappy. Quote, it says that WCCS, which is Whitley County Community Schools, which Northern Heights Elementary is, has had major issues with parental trust in education. The former vice president of the WCCS Board of Trustees threatened legal action against a parent for speaking out against mask mandates when that was going on.
Yep.
And he hired his own law firm to represent the school district.
Wow.
And the district then adopted new rules preventing parents and citizens from even speaking at board meetings. So they can't even go to board
taking away your right to speak. Once again, I mean, that's completely, you can't do that. It's unconstitutional.
And I think it's crazy that we didn't get a response. Like, from what I've seen, and if I'm wrong, feel free to drop the article to us because we'd love to hear their response.
Yes, absolutely.
But the silence tells me everything I need to know, probably. Because if it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't true, why wouldn't they just come out and say this didn't happen?
They're praying and hoping right now that nothing comes, because I'm telling you, there is somebody within the school system that looked up and went, "You have done something so foolish," because the second one, they're not allowed to speak at board meetings. So most likely there are kind of like at this church, there's like rules we have to follow with the congregation. From what I understand, that's how schools operate as well. There are rules you have to operate by with the public, specifically boards and things like that. You have to follow these rules when interacting with them, or else you're in one. It's first of all, you're breaking these rules, and it doesn't go well for you. So you're taking away the free. So if somebody gets the gumption to sue this school, it's a nightmare, because you have a case for freedom of speech. You do have a case for it. It doesn't look good. And just the rules of how you have to interact with the public and how you have to talk to them and you have to interact with them still. Which I'm not 100% on, but I'm 95% sure you have to. You have to be like.
Well, that's what they're saying. They changed the rules.
Yeah,
they changed their own bylaws and stuff, probably. So, yeah, I agree with you. They could, though, and that's what's interesting. I'm curious if there's legal stuff being, already happening. And I need to look more. I heard about the mask mandate threatening a while back. I want to point this out, guys. Listen, I went to college, and even the colleges I went to a non-Christian college for part of my time, and then I went to a quote, Christian college, end quote.
Yeah.
Their education is liberal, man. So what I mean by that, Todd, you're talking about colleges. Who do you think's training your teachers?
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? So these teachers, and it's important, parents, that you make wise decisions on where you're sending your kids, and two, that you know and talk to your kids about what they're being taught.
Absolutely.
Because you think about how much time they spend with these people who have an incredible amount of influence on them.
It's a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you an area that we need Christians is the education system. We need
Absolutely
believers that
we
are
do.
diving into the education system, which I think is happening less and less.
Yes.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, be curious to know the statistics on that.
Yeah.
Sometime maybe we'll look that up.
Definitely.
Dude, when I left school, a lot of those Christian teachers were like, they had problems, like real problems that they were dealing with. And when I was in high school, were like the people who ran the FCCA, like he had issues with, like, the board had a problem with him specifically. And he was he wasn't just head of the FCC. He was a fantastic history teacher, had some of the highest test scores in the whole thing.
Yeah.
I heard nothing bad about him from not only just his students, but like he helped people. Like I knew people who had learning disabilities that he was not only understanding with, but it helped them get through a history class.
So what's the problems he had?
The board was just rude to him. Like
Oh, yeah.
he had different things. Like their other history teachers would get assets and things, and where he wouldn't. And like it was known by senior year, like
So it was
you're
slanted.
basically adults. So you could see like this teacher who's a fantastic track coach
Being
we
treated
loved him,
differently.
and you can see he's being treated by like higher ups in the school system like he's dog water, and it's bad, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, like you could see he was discouraged. And
I'm
like,
sure he was.
I can only imagine what that's been with teachers now.
Now, yeah, it's wild, man.
Oh yeah, because it'd be worse even.
Oh, definitely.
Anyway, be praying for our country and be involved in your kids, man. And
Definitely.
hey, don't take that stuff. If that's really happening, and I'll say this, even though we live in this county, we'll probably get flack. Like, if I ain't gonna take this.
No.
If that happens, even though I don't have a kid in that school, or I don't have a kid in that age or anything, I'm gonna still be involved in that. We're not gonna let some bureaucracy tell us what we can and can't say and can't talk about.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So that's not gonna happen. So anyway, close up shop. We gave him a long episode.
Oh yeah, I already
But,
know this is long.
So we're gonna make this real quick. Goodbye. You got anything you want to say?
Love you guys. If you guys are watching from any social media platform, please like, share, and comment, and leave a blurb as to why you're watching it. Love you guys.
I'm getting a call.
Oh, weird.
Hey, fun turn. Make it real fast.
Alrighty.
Super fast.
You know what it is. Leave us a review on all your podcasting stuff. Please give us a 5-star review, and we would really appreciate that.
Thank you, brother.
Perfect.
Hey, we love you guys so much. Hey, really listen to what we said earlier. Go back and take a listen. Think about this. God gave you dreams. You got stuff inside your heart you want to do, accomplish. Stop letting the lies in your head and this world tell you what you're capable and what you're not capable of. Because look who's walking with you. If you're a believer, right, nobody can stand against, right, who's behind you. That doesn't mean everything's always going to work out the way you want it to work out. But listen, and I mean this, dreams aren't always about, and greatness isn't about achieving the goal. It's about the pursuit of the goal, right? That whole idea that if you aim for the stars, you end up on the moon or something, that's a good concept. Or if you aim for the moon, you might end up in the stars. I think that's what it is. Some corny thing. But that does make sense. So remember that. You're capable of far more than you think you are. We love you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed this monster-sized episode probably.
Oh, yeah.
Pray for us. We're praying for you. Have a great day, and God bless you.